Welcome to Bit About Crypto. I'm David James, the Job Whisperer, and we're back to talk about crypto and a bit about it. And once again, David Hampton, RoboRecruiter. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Just gearing up for the school year with the kids. They go to school starting next week. Ryan is super excited. She'll be in TK. And
TK or pre-K?
No, TK.
They call it TK?
Yeah, TK.
Okay.
You got preschool, TK, kindergarten.
What's the T stand for?
Transitional.
Oh.
Transitional kindergarten.
Transitional. And so your kids live in San Diego County, go to school in San Diego County. Do they have to wear masks?
Masks are optional at their school.
Oh, that's you because you go to private
school.
Right.
Private school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are blessed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Here in Las Vegas, they brought the mask back. Right. They can't afford to shut down the town again.
No, they can't. And that's. I mean, I was talking to my buddy Garrett about. He's a principal at high school in Dallas, and they're it's like a complete S show down there about mask, no mask, and parents are complaining about safety.
The whole thing is tough.
The
whole thing is tough, and I take, especially on this show, we take no stance on what's good and what's wrong. I can see it from both sides.
Well, here's the irony. I mean, I know. I mean, this is related to our show, but I think the libertarian in me says, look, you can give choice for abortion, right? Pro-choice for abortion. Mm-hmm. You can say, hey, you can do whatever you want with your body, but yet we can't decide whether we can wear a mask or not.
Sounds like you're pretty convicted. Preach.
I mean, I think it's just pretty obvious. Roe versus Wade, your body, woman, right? Do what you want, right? But your face, no, you got to cover it up with a mask because I'm afraid of getting it's like, what? No, what happened to pro-choice? You can't have it both ways.
Well, that's the thing about it is the mask to protect me from you or to protect you from me, right?
Either way, it's a choice. It's a total choice.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and clearly you're not as unbiased as I am because you're clearly biased.
It's not about being biased. It comes down to, I mean, to me, look, if you can say, hey, pro-choice about the woman's body for abortion, then you can say pro-choice about choosing to wear a mask.
Okay.
That's my point.
So,
and maybe I'm calling out the Democrats or leftists or liberals. What do you want to, whatever the label is. No,
we're not calling out
Maybe I'm calling them out. Not by choice, not intentionally, right? Because that's the stance that's typically taken. Yes, you
are more biased on this issue than I am. So my personal thing is I always believed metaphysically that I wasn't going to catch COVID, right? I believe that because I don't participate in illness in my mind. However, I got vaccinated because I thought it was the responsible thing to do. I just did.
Well, I agree. But I got vaccinated for a different reason.
Right.
I got vaccinated because I see a delineation or a line being drawn between those who do get vaccinated and those who do not.
Yeah, no. I saw that too. That was part of my decision.
With the history of our country and segregation and discrimination and all that stuff, which we don't have a good track record of, I don't want to be discriminated against.
So, do you feel like the vaccine can harm you? Do you have belief that it's going to make mutant children or die early or get cancer? Do you believe that?
So here's the thing. My concern about the vaccine is that it was the fastest to be FDA approved or whatever. There's a lot of doctors, Okay,
this is not that show. Do you believe when you were taking the vaccine was your consideration it might harm me?
Any vaccine can harm you.
Right.
So yes.
Okay.
I mean that's a pretty. I mean, but you gotta cost benefit analysis. What are the costs? What are the benefits?
Right. My attitude was. I wasn't afraid. I just didn't think it could.
You just gotta.
Right.
What's the risk? I mean, the probability. Everything to me in life, it's probability.
I didn't know we were going to start here. Maybe we should tell our guests to come back next week and we just talk about the vaccine.
I mean, I think it's part of the reason why we're talking about crypto, man, because it's about the libertarian movement in terms of choice, in terms of where we. How we spend our
all I
currency.
say when I see the people that don't want to get vaccinated, I understand where they're coming from.
My wife was one of those.
Yeah.
My wife didn't. She did it because it hit home. My sister-in-law got it. She didn't have the vaccine, and so but she got sick. She got COVID, and she went to the hospital.
Okay, well, for the record, I got vaccinated because I just thought it was the responsible thing to do. I just did because maybe even though it was pointed out to me, even though maybe I won't catch it, I could carry it. And you know what? I didn't care if I caught it. I really didn't. And maybe I'd regret that if I did. But I would hate myself and never forgive if I gave it to somebody else.
I understand that point. My wife did it because she saw the effects of it. What is it, her sister-in-law? And she didn't want to go. She's like, I can't be in the hospital for a week. I can't.
So we are in a tough spot with our world as it relates to money. So let's get off this downer and let's talk about something else. You remember when you first met me, you looked me up from Afghanistan?
Yes.
And on my LinkedIn profile, what did it say I was into?
Bitcoin.
What else did it say my favorite things were? Do you remember any of that? Places I like to go, things I like to do.
No, it's been probably
it's been a minute.
It's 8 years since I looked at your profile.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
in that detail.
I remember.
I do remember you mentioning Moneyball, and that stuck out to me.
Right.
So
the Moneyball way of recruiting, and I still look at that. Right. And by the way, we are blockchain recruiters. That's who we are. And I'm David James, the formerly agnostic, but now I guess politically involved. Vaxxer, anti-vaxxer commentator.
Everything's got a political spin.
Anyhow, you can find me at the BTC Recruiter. If you want a job in crypto or you need people who actually have crypto experience for your project, you need to call me. It's funny, Zach, I want to give a shout out to Zach Davis, our Vice President of Business Development, and he's a fine British young man. He just sent me an email that somebody had some questions. They wanted to know how many people we actually have in our database. I kind of laughed. Right? Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Right? Not close to 100,000, right? And it's funny they asked that question. Well, we've got as many people that you probably have in your database, just we know how to aggregate them better than you.
Correct.
Right, yeah. So we're blockchain recruiters. The whole purpose of this, the genesis of this podcast is to teach people more about crypto. And specifically the way I wanted to do it was I learned there was a lot of people who didn't know about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or blockchain or non-fungible tokens, NFTs. They didn't know. And two things were happening. They looked foolish by not knowing. Nobody wants to look foolish by not knowing something. And there was a lot of bad information. There's a lot of bad information out there about all blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So I decided that I was going to do two things when I embarked on this podcast. We were going to bring people on who could talk about their walk in life as it relates to cryptocurrency, and also through the ingratiation and the learning and speaking at a level of people who know very little about cryptocurrency, they would actually find that they could relate to the guests. If you listen and you tune in long enough, you'll hear it. And so we've had all kinds of different kinds of guests. So what it said on my profile in the beginning, I remember this, is that it said NFL fan,
Cowboys,
golf advocate,
right?
The Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. You always had those as part of our treats.
Right,
yeah.
right. And it said Bitcoin, but there's something else that says, and the loving people of Jamaica. Do you remember?
Oh, okay.
Do you remember it saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the loving people of Jamaica. And that's I kind of when I was in a past life I used to play cards, and there was a lot of stress in that life. A lot of stress. And I lived in Redondo Beach. And I one day just said, I'm just going to go to a tropical island because I'd never been to the Caribbean. Well, I had as a soldier, but that
doesn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. You're not exactly sipping Mai Tais.
It's like saying you're going to the Middle East.
Yeah, that's a whole different visit.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I just said, they had this commercial, I remember, come back to Jamaica, right? And what people don't know about Jamaica is that Richard Nixon wanted I think it was Sanger, the president of Jamaica at the time, or the prime minister. Our guest will probably square us up on that. They wanted him to give us exclusive bauxite rights to the bauxite aluminum, which is one of their exports. And Sanger didn't want to do it because the deal was bad. So what Nixon was doing was having the CIA assassinate American tourists in Jamaica. and blaming it on Jamaica and making it
so nefarious.
making
I'm
it,
not surprised.
making it seem so this is so sick on so many levels. The fact that the president
of course
the CIA
Nixon, yeah.
would kill Americans. What's a few Americans when you're the president,
it's
right?
Like, I'm not surprised.
Right, and so what happened was that it really hurt Jamaica's economy, and they literally had all these commercials. I remember seeing them in like 1984, 1985. Come back to Jamaica, and you'd see all these people doing whatever, and they look at the camera and they go, "Come back, man, right, come back to Jamaica." Mm-hmm. And I was just driving one day, and there was a sign, a billboard. The TV commercials were out there. Come back to Jamaica. I said, "That's it. I'm going to Jamaica." And I went home. I called my travel agent. I said, "I'd like to go to Jamaica." She said, "When?" "Today." Right? It's like, "Well, where would you like to go? Where do you suggest I go?" Well, she says, "Well, not Kingston." I said,
Montenegro, right?
No, Montenegro is not in Jamaica. You're probably thinking of Negril, right?
No, Negril.
Or Montego Bay.
Montego.
Yeah. Mobe.
Montego.
That's what they say at Mobe, right? Or Ocho Rios or Oche. And they just started this pilgrimage of me going to Jamaica. And, man, the people of Jamaica will just creep into your heart. It's very, very difficult, for me at least, just not to absolutely love people of Jamaica. And I used to go there all the time, but then Jamaica Air stopped flying directly from LAX to Montego Bay. Now it's a little too hard to get there.
Yeah.
And some other things happened. Other things started happening.
I went there in 08, I think, is last time I...
Right. So anyhow...
07.
So so speeding the tape up a little bit further, I went to... I was online a few months ago, and there was a DeFi conference. And what happened was everybody was booking my time. They either wanted a job or they wanted somebody who wanted a job. And young enterprising man, he popped up on the screen. And he started talking, and I recognized his Jamaican accent. And I started talking to him. And he started talking about, what he's doing in crypto, et cetera, et cetera. And we had a wonderful conversation. And I remember saying to him, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?" And he said, "What podcast?" I said, "My podcast." And so anyhow, that's what happened. So with no further ado, I would like to welcome to Bit About Crypto podcast, Allister Davis. Allister, what a guan?
Everything, Chris.
Everything, Ari. Me there too. Me there. Yeah. You keep
Staying strong.
You staying strong. Respect.
Yeah, man. Every time.
Maximum. Anyhow, the thing about it is, so Allister and I, you're chatting a little patois. That's the. It's not the language; it's a dialect, right? And what I've decided is that if you want to just come and go and live your life in Jamaica, patois is a series of greetings and goodbyes, right? And so that's no respect to you, no respect to you, no respect to you, respect to you, and it's said in so many different ways. Anyhow, no further ado, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Actually, I'm in New York right now. I'm by Wall Street. The weather's awesome, so yeah, man, just having a good time.
Yeah, everything's blessed, huh?
Yeah, everything's blessed, man. I mean, in spite of the pandemic. It's good to see that people are out once again. I'm surprised, there's so much people out. We're almost back to pre-pandemic levels.
Wow.
So that's encouraging.
I don't know what the political climate is, just because I'm trying not to watch news as much as I can not watch it. What is the political attitude of masks versus the this new strain that we've got? What's in New York?
Yeah, in New York, I think people are cooperative because at one point we were the epicenter for the virus. So, we're willing to do what it takes to fight against the virus.
Right. So I want to just cut back to it. So, you were raised in Jamaica. Your father was a successful businessman, right? And you literally you went to an all-boys school, right? What was the name of the school? Can you tell me?
Yeah, sure. It's called Wilma's Boys High School.
Well, yeah. Well, and what territory in Jamaica was that? Was that near Kingston?
Yeah, that's actually in Kingston. It's by Hero Circle.
Okay, by Hero Circle. So anyhow, I want you to say in Latin what your alma mater was.
is Age Quod Agis.
So that's say it again for my partner.
Age Quod Agis.
You want me to translate? Is that what you're telling?
Did you know what it means?
No.
I think it means
Something water? Is that,
always do your best.
Something like that. It means whatever you do it well.
do it well?
Right, yeah. So anyhow, that's great. And so you speak English, of course. Jamaica colonized by Britain, right? So you speak English, and of course you ben you John shut the patois. Hear me now, right? So you, and so did you learn Latin at that school?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that motto is actually the same motto as the Jesuit schools here in the U.S.
Okay, so you had the opportunity to learn Latin. You could learn Latin, French, or Spanish, right? I chose Spanish. So okay,
I learned Spanish. But I think they got.
Why don't you test them out, David?
I don't know a whole lot.
They wouldn't let me take. I went to a Jesuit high school in Dallas, and I tested for Spanish, and they said, "Yeah, your Spanish is too good for us to. We can't keep up with. We don't have a level for you to come in. So you either have a choice between Latin or French." And
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I picked
Latin would be easy.
I picked Latin because I just figured it'd be a little easier than French. You know, I don't really. Pouvez-vous français? No.
Je n'ai pas.
No.
Pardonne-moi.
Oui.
Voulez-vous?
They all like that. Sound like right. That's what they all sound
easy.
like.
And for those of our French listeners, I apologize for my insensitive.
That's what they sounded. I mean, I was in Afghanistan. That you had many different countries in Kabul. And I swear, the French, that's what they sounded like. I'm not trying to make fun of. I'm just saying that's what they sounded like. All
right, we're going to move right along.
Of all the
now.
romantic languages, French has been the hardest to pick up.
The most romantic language is patois, what they speak in Jamaica. But anyhow, so Allister, so let's talk about talk about your life and then how living up in Jamaica and how you got to the United States.
Okay. I grew up in Jamaica until I was like 21 years old. I lived in Jamaica. As we said earlier, I grew up in a two-parent household. My father, my mother, and my dad was a successful businessman, and my mom was a stay-at-home wife. So luckily I was able to, have that balance, which, unfortunately a lot of kids growing up in Jamaica, they don't have that because it's mostly like a matriarchal society in Jamaica where households are led by women. So I attended Wolmer's at the age of 12. Well, I matriculated at Wolmer's at the age of 12. And
what did you say you did at the age of 12? Say that again.
Yeah, matriculated. I started going to Woodman's at the age of 12.
Okay, right. Matriculated to the boys' high school.
Right.
He
started attending, is what he means.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like the British way of saying started attending.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Because we use the British school system. Yeah, so I started attending at the age of 12 and focus on my studies. It really is a environment where it pushes you to excel, to be the best that you can be, because it's like you're among the brightest in the island. A lot of the students I went there with, they went on to be like, law professors, lawyers, doctors, engineers, economists, politicians, and so forth. So when at Wolmer's, it really pushed me to be the best that I could be academically.
So let me ask you this question: what year did you leave Jamaica and come to the United States?
Well, I left Jamaica in 2002, December 2002. Yeah, I think it was like right after 9/11.
Oh wow.
Right. Okay. So
About a year after.
So basically, let's just talk for a second about the currency in Jamaica, right? So, like most of the world, they take the U.S. dollar, but Jamaica has its own sovereign currency called the Jamaican dollar, right? And when I first started going to Jamaica in 1995, maybe earlier, 93, 95, when I first started going, the conversion rate between the U.S. dollar and the Jamaican dollar was you get 40 Jamaican dollars to every one U.S. dollar.
Wow.
Right? And then in 2006, which was like 2006, 2000, or 8, it was about 100 Jamaican dollars to one U.S. dollar.
Wow.
And so, move the needle up to where we are in 2021, you get 154 Jamaican dollars to one U.S. dollar. So you see a currency backed on itself. This is an important thing, right? So it costs one Jamaican dollar to get, a Rasta hat, right? And then all of a sudden it costs $3, $5 because the Jamaican currency is based on nothing. It has no assets to back it up, right? And usually, and so the United States dollar is doing the exact same thing. Can you talk about your experience with the inflation of the Jamaican dollar before you get up, or were you too unaware of that?
Yeah, living in Jamaica, you're always made aware of the currency.
Exchange rate?
That's like, the exchange rate. I mean, that's like a hot topic. It's always in the news because it affects your purchasing power, like from buying bread and butter. It affects the price. So you could go to the supermarket today and the price of bread is say $1. By next week it's $1.50. That's the type of impact that the currency has on the society. So you always got to be adjusting your budget. You always gotta find ways to make $1 last. Definitely.
That's it's interesting because I was acutely aware of that part, that currency exchange because of my summers in Guatemala. Gas would be like 50 quetzales, right? And the exchange rate is 7 or 10 to 1 back then. I don't know what it is right now, but I'm just like, really, it's that much for gas, and it's not like they're earning more. It's just
no, but
it's incredible. I mean,
what happens is this is, and you went back to Guatemala for the last time last year, a year ago, with your mom.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, and what people don't realize, and what this pandemic has proven, is that all the currencies in the world are overprinting. They're overprinting and they're debasing. And it's only a matter of time until the entire fiat paper currency thing actually crashes. It's just an arithmetic certainty. And that's why things like Bitcoin, right, are so powerful, because it's sound money. And the thing about Bitcoin, there'll only be 21 million of them. And no matter how popular, no matter how great the demand, we can't replicate any more of them. That's sound money. So the only thing that can naturally happen is that the price will go up and exponentially and to infinity. So, Allister, how old were you? 21 when you actually came from Jamrock to?
Yeah, I was 21 years old. Right age, to consume alcohol. Which,
are you laughing? Are you laughing because I called it Jamrock?
Yeah, I'm laughing because you call it Jamrock. So.
Yeah, so you can tell that I've been, right? Really been.
Yeah, I could tell you been. Yeah, you got the pad so down fat as well.
Yeah. I saw the thing plug in, brother.
Let me ask, who's your favorite Jamaican? Who's your favorite Jamaican personality?
Well, it's funny. It's not going to be anyone you know or think, but there was, I would always hire a driver, and his name was Fabian. And he would just Fabian. He was
okay.
He was just my driver. He was just there the very first time I went to actually to Jamaica, and he picked me up, and he was an amazing singer. and he'd take us to karaoke, and he would win all the karaoke contests, et cetera, et cetera. And he was just an amazing guy, and he was about my age. And he was just a wonderful, sweet man. And I just learned so much about him, about compassion and softening my heart. And he ended up dying of cancer. So when I think of Jamaica, I think of him most. But then there's my friend Devin Simpson, right, who I met at Chuka Cove, right? And he was like one of the zipline guys. And then there was Gerba. I mean, so my personalities, my influences aren't like by Bob Marley or any of the politicians, or what you got this and you got this, or the Labor and the Green Party. And that's my experiences, and that correlates to my love of people as a recruiter. Right? When I see the pain in your eyes that you need a better job because you want more from your life, that speaks to me. And so the working people of Jamaica who just are doing their thing, you could see they have so much to give. I didn't think we were going to go there. This whole episode has been circuitous of how we usually go. But anyhow, does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it was golden. As a matter of fact, I took my wife Rita to Jamaica when the election of 2008. It was September of 2007. Right when I forget the gal's name, Brown was her last name, Brown, and was running against Golden, right? And what ended up happening is like, you're gonna love Jamaica. Jamaica's great, and there are like soldiers everywhere, and there are people in green protesting and people in orange protesting, and Rita's like, hey man, I don't. What is it with all these soldiers? I mean, there were thousands of soldiers everywhere. I said, don't worry. Jamaica is a great place. But then we got to the hotel, we're watching the news, and people are rioting. Not where we were, right? Not where we were in Discovery Bay, right? But people were rioting and burning on TV. And my wife is not feeling very good about Jamaica. But then again, my wife, she doesn't feel good about a lot of things that I kind of do. It's just a different perception, and I understand where she's coming from. So anyhow, so you get to New York City, right? And so do you feel like that you, as an immigrant, that you struggled harder?
Well, actually, when I first entered the U.S., I came to Atlanta.
Okay, to go to school?
To go to school, in Atlanta, Georgia. And then from there, after I graduated from Kennesaw State, then I came to New York. As an immigrant, I mean, there are a lot more opportunities here than in Jamaica.
Right.
And that's why we come to this country. I think that the thing about America is if you're willing to like work hard, is like you could achieve your dreams. Like as they call it, the American dream. I think it's still achievable in spite of all of the challenges and the obstacles. I think the American dream is still achievable.
So I'm gonna risk this. I'm gonna say this. So as Black folks, right? And as an immigrant, do you feel like the deck was stacked against you, like when you were applying for work, or how you were just treated? I mean, I know in New York City there's a lot of acceptance, but then you've got the segregation and discrimination everywhere. And I don't know what it's like to come to America from the way you did. And before we get to the topic of crypto, I want you to speak however you wish on that matter.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to be honest, like I've never had a problem getting a job that I wanted. Like every time I applied for a job that I wanted, I was able to get it. I was able to work in sales, real estate in New York. I was a licensed real estate agent here in New York. I did a brief stint in banking. So I think it all comes down to like how you present yourself,
attitude. An attitude.
Attitude, right.
And aptitude.
Exactly. How you aptitude, the interpersonal skills. I think that that's all a factor, that plays into you like moving up the social ladder.
Do you know that Southwest Airlines, they hire for attitude and train to aptitude? Did you know that? Your
No, I didn't know that.
Your attitude, your good attitude, will get you hired at Southwest. And yeah,
cool.
if you notice the people at Southwest, I mean, I'm sure working in the airport's got to grind on everybody. It just has to, right? Because you deal with a lot of, because people are angry because they're in fear. They're in fear it's going to cost them more money. They're not going to get to where they need to be, feed their cat, pick up their kids, whatever, right? But overall, Southwest, the employees, they got the best attitudes. It's something that I've noticed. And I'm not saying anything about that. So what type of jobs did you find? No, that's what I want to ask. So you're working in sales, you're working in real estate, right? When did you come to find, or did you come to find that the fiat system is failing? How did you come to that awareness first?
Yeah, well, it was during the I think the Great Recession. Mm-hmm. It was. I think that was 2008.
Yeah, and it continued to 2011. If you were a recruiter trying to get paid to get people the jobs, it continued for 3 long years.
Right. So that was a wake up call for me because I studied economics and finance. So I was like, I believed in this system, American capitalism. I remember when I was in college, I told one of my economics professors, like, oh, this is a model for capitalism and democracy. So I definitely believe. But when the Great Recession hit, I started to reevaluate. I was like, so wait, what's really going on? And then I think it was during that time the Occupy Wall Street movement started as well. So that's when I started to really dig deep and find out, like, look at all the moving parts, within the economy and see what the weaknesses were. So once I identified the weaknesses, then, that's what led me to look for more opportunities.
Got it. So here's the question I ask everybody. Right before I ask you, we're going to talk about jobs. So how about a word from our sponsor? And who is our sponsor, David Hampton?
Blockchain recruiters.
That's us, right? So we also, I forgot to say this. Thanks for all the compliments. But anybody in the chat section who's sending you messages saying, hey, contact me on Telegram, I'm Dave Hampton, or I'm David James, they're liars, they're frauds. We're at no time ever going to ask anybody to send us Bitcoin or money for selection. So basically, the jobs I have is I'm looking for a community manager of a huge NFT project, and I'm also looking for a VP of product development for a blockchain society, as they say. I question that. What do you got, Dave? What are you looking for?
I have several. I think this is prevalent, but I have several blockchain developer roles right now going on. So, in various locations, New York, Oregon, remote. So.
All right, sounds good. So that's a word from our sponsor. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Allister Davis, the question pending. How did crypto find you?
Okay. Yeah, well, I was in Atlanta. I was actually visiting Atlanta. I was living in New York at the time. And then I went to a gas station. I saw a Bitcoin ATM. So once I saw it, like, a light bulb went up. I'm like, wait, I've never heard of this before. And then I looked at the price. I think at the time the price was like around 1,500. So I started doing research. Even while I work, I would be on my phone, during break, doing research, learning as much as possible about the market. And I think that was like 2017, which was like the year the ICO boom. So I got involved in some ICOs.
Hold on a second. I'll just tell you that because I remember this. So this probably would have been closer to March of 2017. It was March.
Right.
All right. Because when people tell me the price, I'll know exactly when it was. I just do. Right. So good.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at the price of Bitcoin every day since May of 2013. Every day. Not a day goes by. And more than once a day. But anyhow, go on.
Yeah. So I got involved in some ICOs. I think
Hold on a second, just so for our listeners. So an ICO is an initial coin offering, and that's when new blockchain entities are going to say, "Hey, we're going to do this coin, and if you want to get on the ground floor, you can actually achieve, participate, purchase these coins, right? In an initial coin offering. That's an ICO, correct, Allister? Am I correct?
Yes, that's
all
correct.
right.
Yeah, that's correct, David.
Right. So go on. Go on, Fiat.
Right. Yeah. So, that I got in the boom of the market. Like everybody was making money. Like you could have just like blindly invested in any project and made money. I try to do my due diligence as much as possible, do my research. Like I invested in this project called Civic, which is led by Vinny Lingham, and they're like a ID-based blockchain project. But there were a lot of scams as well.
Indeed. Right. So did you lose a lot of money in any of the scams?
Well, I actually, to be honest, like I did lose money, but I made more money than I lost. Once I lost money, then what I did was like revisited my strategy, and then from there learned from my mistakes, and I was able to become better.
Yeah, that's what it takes. I've always said if you're looking for the best bomb maker, look for the guy who's missing a few fingers. Right, because I've always said that. That's the guy you look for. If you want to know how to make a bomb, you talk to that guy because he knows how not to make one. Right?
Exactly.
Right? So anyhow, there was a period of time where you went full in onto crypto. When was that?
Yeah, well, this was actually before the pandemic. I believe it was like early 2019.
Okay.
That's when I decided to go all out with cryptos. I remember I went to a conference. Well, actually, it was a meetup in Manhattan with the Phantom team. I don't know if you're familiar with Phantom.
Well, even if I am, I know our audience is not. So can you break it down for them, what the Phantom team is?
Yeah, sure. Well, Phantom, they're like a DeFi project.
And DeFi is decentralized finance. So go on. Sorry, Allister. I just want to make sure that my audience doesn't tune out. Go on.
Yeah, sure, no problem, David. So it's decentralized finance, and they offer different type of products like liquid mining, AMM, like automated market maker, and swapping, staking, and so on and so forth. So
what he's saying is swapping. You can swap your coin A for coin B, right? If you think A is going to go down and B is going to go faster. You can stake your coins because there are certain protocols where you can actually stake a coin. That's like, think of locking it up in a CD in a bank, right? And then you'll get a certain interest. And you'll get a lot better interest than the garbage that the banks in fiat are paying today. But anyhow, go on, Allister.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the team did a presentation. I think Andre Cronier, he's the lead developer. So he was there. I actually met him in person. And I think he's the lead developer for Yearn Finance as well. So it was at that conference, at that meetup, I decided I'm good at this because I was meeting people from Wall Street. And it was always my dream to work on Wall Street. So I'm like, oh, these people are coming to me for advice. So I got to be on the right path.
Let me just stop you for a second. You live in Staten Island, New York now, right?
Right.
Do you take the Staten Island ferry every day into Wall Street? I mean, well, not pandemic, but.
Yeah, definitely. That's the best way actually to get to Manhattan.
Yeah.
The ferry.
Yeah. And I've always said, and David, he went to NYU. I've always said there's nothing more magical than the Staten Island ferry at sunset, watching the sun set on the Statue of Liberty. It's just so wonderful. So you're very blessed to get. Don't take that for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely don't.
You know, of all people, right? You immigrated here, right? And that's the vortex of immigration and symbology, right? That statue right there, what America's all about, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's why they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. You know, and that's New York for you.
Yeah, that's correct.
Indeed.
So tell everybody. So okay, so you learned from this group of people at a meetup at a Bitcoin. I'm guessing was it a Bitcoin meetup or was it an ICO meetup?
Yeah, it was actually a Bitcoin meetup. I think another project there. It was called Holochain. There was another project there as well that was doing a presentation. So, and it was like the main architects of the team, you know, the main decision makers on the team were there. So yeah, I was definitely able to learn from them.
So there's a period of time where you actually went all in on crypto. You make your living today in cryptocurrency. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, tell the audience what you do and how you decided I'm going to do this.
Okay, great. Yeah, so actually now I'm focused on DeFi, which is, you know, as you said earlier, decentralized finance. So what I do is like I'll invest in various like DeFi projects. You know, I'll stake, you know, tokens off of liquidity mining because I could get the beauty about it is that you could actually get like you know, income. You could earn an income. So as opposed to like just, you know, put it in your money and wait for, you know, the price to go up, you know, five times the money or 100 times the money. You know, you can actually earn residual income. So on a daily basis, you know, which is good. So if you're really looking for cryptos to substitute your 9 to 5 income or, you know, to add to your 9 to 5 income, I think DeFi is definitely a good way to go.
So let me ask you this question, and this is an important thing. And you know, here at the Blockchain Recruiters recruiting firm and a bit about crypto podcast, we neither endorse nor oppose anything, right? We want to have neutrality because we don't. When someone comes to us and says, "Hey, we'll give you this much money to tout our coin," our answer is no. Right? We're agnostic as far because we want to keep our reputation clear. Because really, all we want to do is we want to help people get jobs in crypto, right? And the whole purpose of this podcast is to teach people, right, about crypto. But more importantly, we want you, if you have a crypto project or you're a crypto enthusiast or a talent, we want to know you so we can match up, so we can, you know, earn our daily bread the honest way. But when it comes to DeFi and a lot of these highly unregulated things, right? What would you say as a warning or as a cautionary tale to somebody who actually is new to the space if they want to get in? What not to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I would say like, yeah, first is like definitely do your own research. I think where people go wrong at times is like they'll, you know, go on YouTube and, you know, watch a video and whatever the person recommends, they'll just go with that. And, you know, that person could be paid by the project or they could have money invested in the project. So they're really just like, you know, like pumping the project so the price could go up and then they turn around and sell the token. So, you know, go on the website.
Hold on a second. So what Allister is talking about, he's talking about a pump and dump and a rug pull. All right. So what happens is there are a lot of people who say, hey, you got to get into this coin. It's called coin XX or whatever it is. Right. And it's already gone up 10% and it's going to go up another 100% or whatever it is. Or it's already gone up 10 times. It's going to go up 100 times. What happens is the market cap is so small and the liquidity is so small. You got the people there. They're putting their own money into it. So somebody will put 100,000 into it and it goes from like 1/10 of a cent to 1 cent. Like, look, I'm up 10x, 10 times on my investment. You should get into it too. And everybody's pushing money in. And then the people that actually have the majority of the coins, they sell them, right? That's the pump and dump. Or they pull the rug pull. This is what you're talking about, right, Allister?
Yeah, right, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so also it's I just want to talk about something else. I was on somebody else's podcast several months ago, and I was talking about crypto, and he had sent me a link on Facebook how these people were these two brothers were broadcasting live from here in Las Vegas, and what they were saying is that if you come to the school and sign up and bring other people to the school, we'll give you 10% of what they pay. So they got this multi-level marketing thing, right? So right then, if people are getting money off your sign up, that's 100% that's going to be a scam. 100% that's going to be a scam, right? If I'm not talking about an affiliate link to buy a wallet or something like that to get a commission on the sale. I'm talking about if you get money on my purchase and I get money on your purchase, et cetera, that's a scam. But what they were talking about is you will actually get the exact trades on what type of DeFi or altcoin to buy. And these guys are making 5, 6, 7, and 8-figure trades. So what they're saying is these guys are making trades in the 10,000s, the hundreds of thousands, in the millions, and the tens of millions. Right? And if these guys are making trades in the tens of millions, boy, shouldn't you benefit by that? And I said to the guy, this is going to end so badly for so many people. And he says, why do you say that? And I said, because the strategy of somebody who's putting in $100 million on Coin X is not the same strategy as somebody who only has $15,000 to their family's name.
Right. Yeah.
It's so bad. Can you comment on that? Since you're a big Wall Street hotshot now, can you comment? Since you're there and we're not. No, but seriously, can you comment on that?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point. Actually, I just remember there was a project called BitConnect.
Yeah.
I think you probably heard of it. Yeah. So they had the multi-level marketing and they had the all the bells and whistles, and they'd have conferences and get people all hyped up.
BitConnect. Yeah. Remember that guy? Hey. BitConnect. Yeah, for those of you guys who are listening, there was this fool. I don't even remember his name, but he was like, everybody was making money at the high because that was the time that Bitcoin was going up, because BitConnect got started, right, in 2016. Right. And then all of a sudden, Bitcoin just started its rise. As long as Bitcoin was going up, BitConnect was going up. Right. Yeah. That ended badly. That's
yeah.
Right. So anyhow, so you trade coins every day, right? And you invest in projects, and you're managing your own, and you got there because you actually did your own research, right? You didn't listen to some fool on YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I read the white papers, even if it got too technical, because it's like, some of the white papers are real technical. Like you got to have like a degree in engineering to understand what they're saying. But I would still read it and try to understand it in my own way. And then from there, make an educated decision. So at the end of the day, it's your money. So you should decide how you want to invest your money.
Yeah. So this is really great. And so what do you see the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? How do you see it happening for people in the job market? How it's going to change the job market?
Yeah, I think with Bitcoin cryptocurrency, the whole premise is decentralization. So because like right now, within our society, like most things are centralized, is controlled by, as they say, the 1%. So I think the whole purpose of is crypto is to give us more agency, give us more freedom, and democratize, certain functions within our society.
And with that, Allister, I said that's how the whole thing plug in. Hear me now. So Allister, yeah, we got your social up there, right? So he's Allister Davis. Right, LinkedIn.com/Allister-Davis, right? And I can't thank you enough for being a guest today. Mr. Hampton, anything you'd like to say to our esteemed guest?
Much appreciated, man. I love New York City. I lived there for 3 years, so I can appreciate the beauty you see right now. It's a good time to be there.
Yeah, I know the best time to be in New York is in the fall.
It's in the fall.
Or the fall and April or the spring.
Or like
spring.
Memorial Day weekend, man.
Yeah, April. And and just speaking to you, Allister, just seeing the light and the aura around you and your smile, it reminds me about in your accent how much I love and miss Jamaica. And so anyway, I really want to give a shout out to Travis Flesher, our engineer. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being in. So, Allister Davis, David Hampton, RoboRecruiter. I'm David James, the Job Whisperer. And remember, everybody, get whisper.